So, to close this lecture out, remember that this is a subjective experience. There's no such thing as a correct answer here, but what we want to do is provide you tools to make the choices that are right for you. Keep in mind, we are solving an economic problem. There are limitless things that you could want in these circumstances, but your income will be capped. So, when we're budgeting for our final project, one thing that might be useful is to think about all the money you've spent since the semester started. And are there usual purchases you would make that you haven't made in the last couple months? Can we group your purchasing behavior into large categories, the difference between necessities and luxuries, wants and needs? And if you're comfortable, compare these numbers with a friend or a neighbor. So, let's go back to what Thomas is making, and he thinks that he's going to take home a little more than $2,000 a month. Should he spend this full $2,000? Of course not, and there's numerous reasons not to spend it all. Saving for retirement, saving for something else, emergency fund, money that you will have to spend that you didn't anticipate, and so on and so forth. And let's take this into account when we are making these important considerations for your own project, which is make sure you're super detailed with your expenses. This is going to help you planning, but it's also going to help me grade you. How are you getting to and from work if you're working at all? If you have a car, you can live further away and maybe spend less on rent. If you need to rely on a bike or a train, how will this change where you're renting? You need to be near a train stop, or you need to be in a relatively flat area. Take travel into account, particularly at this age when a lot of you are going to have people who start to get married very soon. Are you flying to weddings? Are you seeing your family? Are you budgeting for children, pet, multiple pets, a partner? And keep in mind that debt is sometimes unavoidable, both in the short term, like I don't have money to cover this thing this month, but also in the long term, like a mortgage. And how will incurring debt, think about student debt or grad school debt, how will this change your expected budgeting? So our final activity today is we're going back to Thomas, and now we're looking at his budget. And he's deciding whether to live alone or rent with a roommate. And work through his budget in the Excel doc that's been posted to Canvas and think about what he should do in these situations. And then start to do it yourself, making your own assumptions, keeping in mind this is objective. Put in as much detail as you like. And don't get frustrated here because budgeting takes time, and certainly this is just a semester project, but it's one that's supposed to help you with your lives moving forward. And when you're budgeting, be sure to categorize these expenses, and there are certainly resources like Mint or other personal budget apps that will help lower the cost of categorization. With that, hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.